Yeah, and on that note, welcome back to Just Your Average...
Movie thoughts.
This is not movie thoughts. This is like fucking quick bits.
The quick movie thoughts.
Sorry we've been gone. Fucking everything's been gone to shit. My computer's having a stroke. I just burped. The camera fucking doesn't want to focus on me, and it only wants to make Chad look decent. The Elgato shit the bed, so we're out of...
Let's Plays for now.
Yeah. But, you know... somehow still here.
Today we are going to talk about the Spider-Man controversy.
It's not a controversy, it's just bullshit.
It's awful. Marvel had to be like, yo, give me more money, and Sony's like,
Which is deserved.
We disagree on that.
Here's the issue. No matter how you want to look at it, Marvel only earns 5% of the first day gross. That's it.
It's a lot of money.
But is that international and domestic, or is that just domestic? Because if that's just domestic, Sony makes a fucking killing.
Yeah, but Sony also pays for the money and everything.
Yeah, but Sony chose to do that. Even if you look at it like in a relative term. So what is it? 1 billion? What is that? That's millions. So 1 billion times 5%. That's only $50 million that they're getting out of it.
Yeah, but you remember they get the toy sales, merchandise sales, and all that, and that actually might equal up in the long run more than
yeah, but
box office.
Sony chose not to want any part of any of that.
I don't think they had a choice in the matter. They didn't sell the merchandising rights. Marvel sold the movie rights.
I don't think Marvel sold the movie rights. Whoever owned the rights sold them.
No, it was back in the day when Marvel was going bankrupt. They sold the movie rights to certain characters, like X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, everything. And Spider-Man was the only one that Sony was like, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and
they're like, that Iron Man, who the fuck would want that?
Yeah, now look at the fucking issue that they're running into. They're going to make another, what, Amazing Spider-Man 3? Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't exist. You have a hole in the shirt right there.
I know, I
can
hate
see
it.
a nip.
This shirt's old.
Just a little bit of nip.
Aqua Cadets. Anyway.
You're way too old to be a cadet.
If the Far From Home didn't end the way it did, I wouldn't even be mad about this.
Tom Holland and Sony are still contractually obligated for one more standalone movie?
Nope, they got 2 more.
2 more standalones?
Yeah, and he already said he's not going to give up Spider-Man no matter what. He's going to renew the contract.
Tom?
Yeah. He already said that, even Kevin Feige put out a thing being like, yeah, we're happy we had the opportunity to make Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. And Tom Holland was like, well, I'm still going to be Spider-Man because it's the role of a lifetime. I'm not going to give it up just because I'm not in the MCU anymore.
Well, Tom unfollowed Sony, supposedly, and like I don't really give a fuck after everything is said and done. But like the bigger issue is
I also think that was just like a gut reaction, like just kind of a bitter thing to do.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because I mean, like you have to look at it from the perspective of you're putting in all this work, all this effort, and like for regret and to put a better term to it, Sony wouldn't have any of this. They fucked up the Amazing Spider-Man. They fucked up the Tobey Maguire series. Like, they're doing this. If they get control over it, they're gonna fuck the next thing because they're gonna like,
Venom,
Sinister Six.
Venom was good.
Venom was good if you pulled the Venom name off it. I don't think it's a Venom movie.
They could probably do something with it because they'll probably have more of a chance to do what I wanted to do with it, like have like him just pop into the story.
But there's no... Because Sony's being such an ass about it with Venom and with Spider-Man, and I'm assuming Carnage as well, that's why they're pulling themselves out of it. Because they want to be able to do, we want the Spider-Man, we want the Venom thing, and because Spider-Man's such a huge fucking part of the Marvel universe, period, they're gonna have to kill him off.
See, I'm more of the point where I honestly don't care if Spider-Man's in the MCU anymore.
Why?
Just because I love the 2 movies that came out, but they were way too focused on MCU plots and not enough on just like a hearty Spider-Man story.
No, but that's every Marvel movie.
There's 2 superheroes that can be made into movies that you don't need any backstory, any side characters. Batman and Spider-Man. They both have a wealth of villains, a wealth of characters that they could develop their own story.
But the problem is that they have that backstory. Peter Parker has Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And then Batman has his parents.
And Peter Parker there's plenty of characters that Sony has from the Spider-Man universe that they could put in this movie that'll keep it busy for years down the line.
I agree with you, but you're looking at it again as it just being busy. Because when you want to progress it further, like after Peter Parker dies, you have Miles Morales, and you still have like all of the multi universes that go with it. But you can't have the multiverse effect when the thing that creates the multiverse, Wanda and Vision and
Well, they already
what is it, Galactus?
Well, they already proved they could do that with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
But that's not.
That's a Sony movie that had nothing to do.
No,
with
but that's
Marvel.
that's not a canon Spider-Man thing.
They can make it canon.
You can't after that.
No, they could do a multiverse without, because Spider-Man has like a lot of multiverse stuff more than some characters do.
But Spider-Man never gets shot into the multiverse in his own story. It's always like as part of a grander thing.
In the newer ones, he does. They actually have like the Spider-Verse storyline and everything, and all that, where he like interacts with all the other Spider-Man and stuff, like the Sony movie did.
Yeah, but that's not interacting with the Marvel universe at large, which is
that's what I'm saying. We don't need the Marvel universe to do that.
But again, he's become such an integral part, especially after Endgame. Like,
well, that's why I'm saying I don't know how they're going to do it after Far From Home.
They're not going to be able to. So they're going to have to kill off Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In the MCU, they have to kill off Spider-Man, which means that Sony's going to have to go through another reboot. And I hate to admit this to you, the only reason people are going to go see a Spider-Man reboot, or the only reason I go see a Spider-Man reboot, is to see how it compares to Spider-Man with Marvel being in it. Because I hate to say it to you, I don't think Sony has the chops to make a decent Spider-Man movie.
They have different people going down the lines now. It's a lot different than it was with Amazing Spider-Man. They have more experience with everything.
They may have more experience, but again, like, I don't.
And plus, the same director who directed Far From Home and Homecoming is coming back on.
That hasn't been confirmed.
Yes.
No, I just looked at everything beforehand. That hasn't been confirmed. I forget his exact name, but I don't think it's been confirmed, and it sucks. And here we wait for 10 minutes. Yeah, I think John Watts has been fairly tight-lipped about this whole thing. Directing Sipder-Man. I don't know.
I'm more excited just because I want Spider-Man stories. I don't want Marvel stories featuring Spider-Man.
But that's the thing. Like, you look at... Even if you don't look at Homecoming, you look at Far From Home. That's a Spider-Man movie. It just has all of the other characters sprinkled into it. Like, you have Iron Man sprinkled into it. Huh?
Yeah, it had, like, Nick Fury. It had the Iron Man.
Yeah, but it's not like, it's all Marvel related. Like, it's...
I don't know. I still feel like it would be...
Yeah, they're fighting over John Watts. He hasn't been confirmed for it.
Well, all these people are under Sony's contract, like the directors and everything.
They're under the Sony Marvel contract. As soon as that Sony contract is gone, they all have to re-sign.
No, because Tom Holland is under contract with Sony, not Marvel.
No, he's under the contract with the Sony Marvel agreement.
No, trust me, he's under Sony's contract. And he's just being lent out to Marvel.
Then what's his contract?
His? He has 2 movies left under contract.
Which is the Marvel?
No, which is Sony. He's not in the MCU anymore.
Which is Sony Marvel together.
No, he's under contract with Sony for 2 more movies, but the Marvel contract is done because their contract ran up. That's why they were trying to renew it.
No, they have 2 more movies. Marvel has 2 more movies with Spider-Man in it. And that's why everybody's losing their tits. And everybody thinks Disney's being fucking greedy about it, but I really don't think that they are. I think I think Disney has a right. I don't think they deserve a 50-50 split. I can see a 30-70 split.
Well, Disney didn't want to do that.
How do you know Sony didn't want to do it?
Because Sony offered them that.
50-50?
No, 30-70.
Yeah, Disney wanted 50-50. Do I think Disney should step back and say 30-70? Sure, but they want to split the cost of the movie. So, after everything, I guess, is pushed off, it's like, I don't really know anymore. I'm gonna make Sorry for the silence, guys. We're just gonna try to figure it out. How many movies does Tom Holland have left? Holland will appear as Spider-Man in at least one more solo film for Sony in 2016. I do know that I have 3 Spider-Man appearances in other movies and 3 solo movies contracted. So he has 3 solo movies contracted and 3 Spider-Man appearances.
Yeah, and they're under Sony.
Homecoming, Far From Home, and the third one, which is still in partnership with Marvel.
Not if they don't do the contract. Why don't you just believe me?
Then that's bullshit. So I thought it was contract for 3 of them, that's why. I can admit that. But after everything is said and done, like, that doesn't make sense.
Tom Holland's under contract, but the Disney-Sony agreement was a different contract, you know what I mean? Tom Holland has a contract for the certain movies, but then Sony has the deal to be like, hey, you can use our Spider-Man as long as you agree to these terms.
They're going to get rid of him.
They're not going to get rid of him. They would never get rid of Tom Holland. He already said he doesn't want to leave the role.
He may not want to, but that doesn't mean Sony has to keep him.
They're not going to get rid of him. That'd be the stupidest thing in the world. That kid makes money.
He may make money, but
plus he's going to be Nathan Drake soon with the Sony movie.
Yeah, but that doesn't
They're
mean
not going to
anything.
make bad relations with him. He's already in another big property with Sony like that.
But the issue that it comes to, this has gone over way over 10 minutes.
We're going to fast forward all
I'll cut what can be cut, but after it's all kind of like pushed together, it's like Sony can do whatever it wants, just like Marvel can do whatever it wants. I mean, like, they may want to be these characters. I think they've all managed to stay as their characters, but Sony's kind of a wild card. And it's like, after that third movie comes out, that doesn't mean shit. Like, what are the last 2 movies that are going to come out with Spider-Man in it? The last 2, like, MCU movies, so it's after Endgame. Right?
Well, I think Marvel knew that something like this might happen. That's why they didn't put him in any of the Phase 4.
Yeah, but the reason is because Sony's... I don't want to keep shitting on Sony, but it's all really shitty because after everything is said and done, they've kind of like handed, I guess, a golden goose over, and it's like, even if, you know, for everything goes well,
and you gotta remember though, the deal was never meant to be permanent. It was only supposed to be these movies. So at one point we might have lost Spider-Man anyway, like we are now.
Yeah,
and that's just because Disney doesn't want to be like nice about it. Like, Disney, in my opinion, is definitely being the aggressor towards this, and Sony's being like, yo, back up, it's our character. You've made billions of dollars off our character.
They haven't made billions of dollars off that character specifically. And that's...
with the 5% profits they get in the toy sales from, like, Endgame and Far From Home and everything, they've made a lot of money.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're getting all of the toy sales. They're getting toy sales related to, like, Endgame, so every Spider-Man character that comes in Endgame, they're getting money off of that, but it's like, how much has Sony gotten off of all of it?
Sony doesn't get any money off the merchandise.
I'm not talking merchandise, I'm just talking about, like, values in general of, like, the movies. Like, you have basically 2 movies that are valued at $1 million a piece. Sorry, $1 billion a piece. That's $2 billion right there, not including Spider-Verse. So...
I can't Google just be like, here's your answer perfectly.
Because that's not how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, 175 million commercial for Disney toys.
Yeah, but that's 10% of the billion that Sony made.
I don't think that's
107, $200 million is what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 20%. 20% of a billion. Not including how much Sony had to spend for the movie.
Yeah, but you gotta remember this way. Look at a toy. Toys can range from like $10 to like $100 for Spider-Man stuff.
But you just looked it up. It's 175 million.
I don't think that was real. I didn't even read the article, but I don't think that was like an exact number.
It's still a number nonetheless.
But you gotta remember, these toys, and then you have all these people buying the toys. There's probably more toys being sold than tickets. So Marvel's gonna be making a lot of money off these toy sales. And Disney's gonna be making them up.
I don't think it's that big compared to like the movie, because then you still have the DVD releases that are going to come out, or the digital sales that are going to come out, and those are what, still more profits on top of it, which Sony's going to collect on.
I don't know. I feel like you make more money off toys than ticket sales. And you have the toys, the T-shirts, the backpacks.
I
the
really
hats.
don't think so.
You can see Spider-Man on friggin' like packages of bananas now.
Yeah, but that's
they slut his picture out.
But that's a really. It has to be the Tom Holland one.
Yeah,
and Sony can circumvent that with Spider-Verse or cartoon Spider-Man, because no kid's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, it's just Spider-Man. It's Tom Holland."
If you go to the store, you see the Tom Holland Spider-Man, all these shitty like bananas and like weird packaging and everything.
But there's still all the other Spider-Man stuff. Like there's too much that we don't know.
Why are we so dumb?
What?
Why are we so dumb?
We're not dumb. We're just not fucking privy to a goddamn contract that spells everything out.
I just want to know how much Disney makes off the friggin' money.
Off the merchandise?
Yeah.
Probably more than both of us will ever see in our lifetimes right now. I don't know. After everything is said and done, it's just a shitty situation. Like I personally hoped that Sony and Marvel Disney would have come to a better agreement. But the way Sony made it sound is that they didn't want specifically Kevin Feige to be a part of it.
I think they were putting it very politely that he has bigger things to do now in the MCU. He has all these other characters.
But I don't think he does, at least not yet. Like all of it coming forward, sure. Like there's plenty of stuff coming down the line. But
he still has to do all those Disney Plus shows, all like the new Phase 4 and Phase 5 stuff.
Yeah, but like the Phase 4 is like kind of right around the corner. It's like what, 2022 is like the era for it, or is it like 2020?
2020, 2021, then 2022 is Phase 5, I think.
So let's say like mid 2022. Like there's plenty going forward. Like give him like 2 more movies, and that's all you need. Just let him kill him off.
I just want the last movie that happened, and something crazy happened where with the multiverse where he just gets spit out his universe or something stupid like that.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think
I'm happy
Disney's going to play that.
Now we're going to get Black Hat and Spider-Man, because Sony was already going to make all these other Spider-Verse movies without Spider-Man, without like
Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. So now we're going to have Venom and Spider-Man, Black Hat and Spider-Man. We can get like the Green Goblin, all that stuff.
But then that means there's going to have to be another Venom reboot.
No. They're going to keep the Venom. They don't need to reboot anything. You can do Venom. It's just like the MCU. The MCU has all these movies where it's their cinematic universe, so they rewrite the storylines.
No, but they all follow like the same, I guess, basic like steps from every...
You could definitely do Venom and Spider-Man. Like I said, you could just have Venom see Spider-Man and have him become obsessed. But that could be the movie.
But there'd be no reason for him to leave Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Spider-Man's got the powers. So he's like, I could be stronger.
No, because the way that the Venom movie finished it, and the way that the way that it felt like for the second movie, yeah, like there's no reason for them to separate until Venom 2 comes out and Carnage comes along, and it's like, oh, well, now there's something bigger that we have to fight. It's like they already made
So you just
Venom.
made a storyline right there. Something could happen.
But here's the issue. Venom, canonically, doesn't exist as the Venom character without Spider-Man.
That's why it's a different storyline. It's movies. It's different. They're just going to do what they can to make it make sense. Civil War didn't happen anything like in the comics than it did in the movie.
It followed the same beats.
A lot more happened in the comics.
A lot more, but like you can't fit, 300 issues of a comic into 3 hours of a movie.
Even Age of Ultron was totally different from the comics.
But it followed the same.
You got to remember,
beats.
These movies are the cinematic universes. It's like rebooting a comic book and putting your own thing on it. That's what these movies are. That's what people need to understand. Stop getting so mad that it's not totally just like the
I'm not
comics.
saying it has to be totally like the comics.
So,
but
with the Venom thing, you could obviously just have Spider-Man come into it. Because the Venom story is a very kind of secluded story. It didn't branch out too much. It was just with that one company and
yeah, but that's because Venom never really has his own woo.
Yeah, but you don't even know if the
This
Spider-Man's
became a lot
alive or
longer.
not.
Yeah, but
You just gotta be more optimistic. You're such a pessimist.
I'm not pessimistic, and I hate when everybody fucking says that. I'm realistic. I'm thinking about it from how a normal moviegoer would go and see the fucking movie. So it's like some dumb fucking bitch off the side of the road goes to see Venom 2 and Spider-Man's all of a sudden in it, and it's like, see what's in Endgame, how did you make movie? It's like,
well, I don't think they would do it like that. I think they would make a Spider-Man movie and have Venom in a post-credit scene or something. Or have Venom pop up in Spider-Man's movie to make it be like, oh, he's in Spider-Man? Because if you have Spider-Man pop up in Venom, like you said, it might be a little confusing. But if you have Venom pop up in Spider-Man, it would make more sense. People would be like, oh, that's cool, I didn't know they were connected.
it makes it easier for Sony because obviously Iron Man's dead. They've killed off the major plot threads that connected him to the MCU, but I think Sony's losing out on slightly more than what Disney's going to be losing out on, because Disney's
don't get me wrong, if it was still in the MCU, it would probably be better.
Yeah, but it's you now have Fantastic Four, which is owned by them, and Spider-Man's supposed to become a part of Fantastic Four at one point, and it's that's another what if, that's an entire what if storyline that can't happen now.
Well, I think Marvel can use Spider-Man in the animated stuff, because Disney owns all the animated Spider-Man stuff. I think Sony's only under contract for live action, and then they could make their animated movie too.
But
theatrical releases, I think. Because Disney has the Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man show and all that.
yeah, those are just trash. I'll be the first person to admit that those movies are trash. I don't know.
But they could probably do what if stuff with Spider-Man.
Probably, but I don't.
They will. You know they're gonna.
Yeah, but that's not going to satiate people. You know that, and I know that.
That's why I'm tired of getting mad about things. And let us know if you guys are getting mad about things. Are you mad about Spider-Man leaving the MCU?
Probably.
Are you happy Sony finally got it back?
Probably not.
Are you optimistic like me, or are you a negative Nancy like Chris?
I was going to say something. I'm going to shut my mouth, though. Wow.
Let us know in the comments. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified.
Touch yourself, not others. Bye.